It's definitely a project. We got to work on it for sure. Oh,
was that a surprise to you? I want the other one back.
Welcome to my life, yeah. On the bright side, yeah, this music here became my only lifeline. Think I'm going crazy, I'm not in my right mind. No. Welcome to my life, yeah. Welcome to my life, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to another day in the life of the Murph Squad. Well, I've gotten myself a new little project. Hey, you know me by now. If you've watched some of the channel, I'm always into something. Well, this one is, I guess I'm just going to call this one Project John Deere Gator. So, my dad used to have a John Deere Gator for a farm, and I used to keep it at the farm. Well, when we had tornadoes come and rip the barn apart, or we didn't have a good place to keep equipment, and I had a couple four-wheelers stolen and trailers stolen, and stuff just were getting stolen because I didn't have a good place to lock them up and keep them. Well, when we moved to Florida and then my mom moved to Florida, she's like, look, I don't want the Gator staying at the farm. It may get stolen. So we brought the Gator back to Florida, and it's been at my mom's house. My sister and them used it for a little bit, kind of like a little golf cart around the neighborhood. So anyways, I want to take it back to the farm now that we have the barn done, the shop's done. But I started realizing the Gator is just a two-seater Gator, which was fine when it was me and my dad. But I have three boys, and with Lois Ann, and when we're at the farm, we're trying to fish or go on the mountain, it's just cramped. It's tight, obviously. We're all piled in there, and the boys are getting bigger. So I have decided that we need to upgrade. So this is a trade to a bigger version. So I've kind of traded up. But it is a newer vehicle. It's a newer model, and it's a four-seater, but however, it does need a little work. Now, this is my first time seeing it in person. Let's go check it out. Let's see how big of a project I have here. Well, Mike and Jay's already found it, huh? What you think, man? Whew. Okay, so we do have a little bit of project, right? Busted windshield. Seats are a little rough. But hopefully I can just recover those. As far as cosmetic, you know, I think most of it's just cosmetic stuff. I'm hoping. I will say, you know, I've kind of made this trade sight unseen, just based off pictures, basically. The motor's supposed to be running and strong. However, it does not go into gear. It's broken, and so I've got some parts to work on it. But it's a four-seater, and it's a newer model. It's been a little abused, probably. But you know what? It'll fit the fam on this. Although technically we have five, so we got either tighten up back there or someone hop in the back, like Gavin maybe. So actually, I think that's the part that I've got to replace. That's, and maybe even this cable, that's what's not going into gear. Apparently, supposedly, allegedly. So I don't know, man. We'll see. Maybe the dump's not even working right. So, looks like I've got myself another little project. So we've got to push it up onto the trailer. We'll haul it back to the house, and so I'll begin working on a little bit. Storage. This plastic. I don't know what. I guess it's peeling. Fuse box. Number. I bet it was used for commercial use. Redneck. See if it cranks. I think he said you got to put your foot on the brake. And oh, let go. Yeah, you don't have to hold it down. Try again. Give a little gas. Try again.
You did not touch the gas.
Crank it again. Give it a little gas again. Well, at least it cranks. Oh yeah, that cable. So that cable's loose. Oh boy, this is probably gonna be a big project. Try to kill it. Don't turn it. Start. Put your foot on the brake again, maybe.
It wasn't the brake the first time.
It's not shutting off.
That's a blinker.
Finishing pull the choke. That killed it. For the used to have an electric dump. I don't think it's working. I think he's mentioned that.
What do you do to this thing? It's only 4 years old.
It's been abused by a road crew, it looks like.
Ooh, the shield's horrible. That shield is busted.
Yeah, the windshield's a little busted.
Oh my.
That's just the windshield.
How do you make it look so good in the picture?
Is that an indicator to...
Well, yeah, it's a little rough. It's definitely a project. We got to work on it for sure. Oh,
Was that a surprise to you?
No, I knew the
When you got
windshield.
there? No, I mean the rest of it.
I knew some of it, like I knew the seats. This is busted, and I didn't know this was busted. And there's some other
What do you
parts.
mean that's
I got the football
busted?
net.
Like it won't stay down.
Oh. That's what the zip ties are.
Oh, there's Colin. What you think about the new project?
Big project.
It is.
Nice.
I want the other one back.
Too bad, we traded up. Time to start work on the new project. Project John Deere Gator restoration, fix up, get working, something like that. So I think my first thing to do is I'm going to take this dump bed off. For one, it's not even working properly, and I think it used to have a hydraulic. I see something that was attached here that's missing, and maybe even that's what that was. Like maybe the hydraulic there that raised and lowered it. So anyways, I'm going to take it off anyways because I have to get to this. I was kind of looking on the little service manual that I have, and so I think replacing all this is definitely has to happen. But I'm going to take that off to get access to it, and then probably take some of this stuff off too, because one of my top priorities is seeing about fixing this. It doesn't work. It's loose, so I'm not sure exactly what all's broken in it, but something's definitely broken. So hopefully I can get it to drive and move. All right, I took the bed off. It was really just 2 bolts which I don't think they were even the right bolts. They're way too big. But that's what was on there. And it's bent up, so no telling what's happened on this thing. Man, that thing is heavier than I thought it was going to be. So I've taken out the little storage area down in here where I have just more access to the cables and stuff, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to try to get into here. This is the cable, the forward reverse transmission cable. So I'm going to replace that. You can see back here that cable's very frayed. I had to loosen this up. It was like seized, so you can kind of hear it. Apparently that is neutral when it's even like that, and then you have forward and reverse. I'm not sure which order is which, but I'm going to replace that cable. It just looks pretty bad, and I went ahead and bought a new one, so I might as well. But I need to get all this off. Well, of course, to get this off, I think I've got to get this big old windshield off, which I guess needs to come off anyways because that glass is just bad shattered. I think I can just take these clamps off, and I hope, it's pretty heavy though, I hope I can get it off that way. So we're going to play around with it. See, here's my little service manual. Of course, it doesn't have the windshield. It's telling me to take the dash off just to get access in there. But again, I have a windshield, so I've got to take that off. Alright, now I have access to these screws. So I decided not to take the whole dash off, at least not yet. For one, I think it's a lot of work to get it off. I think you have to take the steering wheel off and everything, and I don't think I need all that, because really all I was needing to get access to was this transmission and shift box, and I figured out there's a little panel that I just removed. So if you look in here, I'm not much of a mechanic, okay? I just kind of tinker around and figure things out most of the time. But I can definitely tell a difference. That is the high-low. This is just, obviously nothing's catching, which I think that's part of the cable. Yeah, right there, I think is where the cable's supposed to connect, that it's not connected. But there's another cable at the bottom that runs out, and I don't know what that runs to. That is actually connected to this forward reverse. So I've got to figure that out. So that's kind of where I am right now, just kind of playing around with the levers and the cables. Here's the cable that I did get. Here's the new neutral lever, which honestly that lever itself may be fine. It just may have been locked up. So I don't know. And guys, yes, all the time I ask myself, what makes me think that I'm capable of doing this? Because I'm really not much of a mechanic. I just tinker around, and always, when I get into a project, I'm like, what was I thinking? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to get lost. But I just try to figure it out. So, if you're out there, first of all, don't critique me if you really know what you're doing. So if you're the professional mechanic out there, please don't be too harsh on me, because I'm just trying to mess around and figure out things as effectively as possible. And then on the other side, you too, just try it. If you're curious, if you think you can figure it out, go for it. That's what I usually do, and most of the time I wind up figuring stuff out. Hey, that's what YouTube's for. That's what the internet's for. Although I will say I have not found a single YouTube video on a John Deere Gator with this neutral cable issue. I've found some things with the shifting problems, but it's clutch related. So YouTube's not helping me right now, but maybe this video will help somebody if I can figure it out. So back to it. All right, so I'm pulling the cable out from underneath. Something about to get up under here. Well, maybe not. Okay, so maybe I can't really fit up under here without it being jacked up. Or I probably can, I just probably can't use my nice little rolling thing. But I wanted to kind of look where I'm pulling this cable from so I know where to put the new one, which there's another cable long, so I kind of can figure it out. All right, so while I was fishing that cable out, a couple things that I've noticed. One, that cable that I thought was the loose cable here is not. That's something actually else. So this is the cable that I fished from the back side that's all jacked up. It actually is connected right there. So something that I just noticed, look at how this piece is bent. See, this is the identical one beside it. Thankfully I have this one to look at, so I know that this one's not right. Because that's the bad thing, I bought this thing blind. I really don't know how it was before, what it's supposed to be like. I'm just piddling with it, so I don't even know what a correct one looks like. But you can see that spring, and there's tension on that. Here there's no tension, it's just completely loose. But because that spring's not attached, and this has been bent, which it's like aluminum, I guess. I'm gonna try to bend that back. I don't know if I need to buy a new one. I may can just bend that one piece back. But that's actually pretty encouraging because I'm starting to see things that are wrong. So hopefully I can correct those things and it will make things right. But again, I don't know what a good one, a correct one looks like. So I'm just trying to identify things that don't look right. And I'll keep working. Hopefully I get this thing going. So I started bending that piece and it was actually bending pretty good, and I got it to where it would hold the lever, but I noticed it wasn't great and I was afraid it was going to slip out, so I continued to kind of hit it with a hammer to kind of reshape it a little bit. Yeah, now it's broke. There it is. That's the little lip piece that was on, and it was just all bent, so I was trying to get it straightened up. So now I've got to get that part. Honestly, it was already messed up. I don't know how much integrity it was going to have once you started really grinding and gear shifting. It was probably going to break at some point or go back to where it was. So it's probably best I replace it anyways while I have everything out. But I don't know how hard that's going to be to replace. I don't know if it's the whole piece. I thought it was just that one lever, but it may be the whole piece. So I'm trying to find the part number. Cannot find that yet, but add it to the list. I'm out of time for today, so we'll have to pick up the project later.
Welcome to my life, welcome to my life, yeah. Welcome to my life, yeah.